Everybody knows that YouTubers don't really make a lot of money, especially, you know, with the amount of views that I get. But, you know, it's nice. Sometimes I can just go to my neighbor's house and I can access the cable from here. And there you go. I can get as much hockey as I want, the news and everything. Train the muscles, not the joints. So what is my favorite way to train? You know, I thought this would be an important subject for me to talk about today because a lot of people are misunderstanding. They're saying, oh, you like high volume, high this, high that, you know, low this, always stick in this rep range, always stick in that rep range. Basically, my favorite way to train is the way my body tells me to train. Okay, that's the first priority. First thing is that I've learned to listen to my body so well that I know when it's time to push it and when it's time not to. And I'm not saying I don't have any more evolution to go in this, because the evolution continues, okay? It continues as you go along this bodybuilding or fitness journey. But what I'm gonna say is that my favorite way to train is frequent training, lower volume. So I'm constantly reminding the body that it needs to adapt. I call it the Callus Principle, okay? You only get calluses on your hand from doing something every day. If you just do something once a week, all you do is rip your hand into pieces and then it has to recover. And then when you go back to doing the same activity again, your hand gets ripped to pieces again. It's a lot easier growing calluses when you just do a little bit every single day, a little bit of shoveling every single day, and then your body develops these nice calluses without tearing everything apart. But a little bit of stimulus more often seems to be more effective than like an axe to the forehead and then saying, hey, just put a Band-Aid on it and then maybe you'll recover. Well, that feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. I think I'm gonna up the ante on this one. That's pretty good. I think my knuckles are getting tough. You want to give your body enough stimulus that it needs to respond, but not so much that you break it in half. And 1, and 2, and 3. Ooh. This is the thing where a lot of people get a little bit lost. They try to over-adapt the body. They try to over-stimulate the body with too much weight, too much range of motion, too much, and then they end up injuring themselves because there's this point, this critical point where if you go too far, then you injure yourself, but if you go just far enough, then you get perfect gains, perfect adaptation response in the body. So you're using weight training like an instrument to cause an adaptation. So my favorite way to train is to train high frequency, lower volume with multiple rep ranges. Okay, so sometimes I'll train 15 reps, sometimes I'll train 20 reps, sometimes I'll train 8 reps, sometimes I'll train 5 reps. Okay, and then with the compound movements like the squats and Romanian deadlifts and stuff like that, I try to be a little bit more careful because you're using a lot more sensitive areas such as the spine and stuff. So I don't go into the 5 rep ranges too often, although I will from time to time. But when you're using the lower back, the legs and everything, when you're in a type of environment where you're hitting close to failure with that type of intensity of weight, the risk of injury goes up, and also it is more of a systemic burden on your body to recover from that. Ultimately, you want to make sure that your form remains correct for what feels right to you and it doesn't deviate, like you don't lose balance and all this, because that's when injuries happen. When you're losing balance, that's when you can get an injury. So the general way I train most often is a 2-day split, and I'll train 5 to 6 days a week, and then the odd day or two I'll put in a whole body workout. And then sometimes I'll spend weeks where I do whole body workouts every day, except for sometimes I'll miss a body part or 2 body parts, but I'll do almost the whole body. And I'll just basically go instinctual. I'll say, okay, what feels like it needs a pump today? What feels like it's not too sore? What feels like it needs more of a burn? What is my weak link right now? What does my body look like? Do I need more tricep? Do I need more delt? Do I need more bicep? You know, and this is what I concentrate more of my volume on during that workout. And that's kind of more of an instinctual method. So really it's a real conversation between me and the body, because the body's telling me, hey, Jason, this is how I'm adapting. And I see, okay, so what I've been doing is showing this. So now I have to respond accordingly with a different type of training. So I have to adjust my training depending on how my body is adapting, because my body is really the sounding board for what's going on. It's telling me what's happening. It's, you know, there are a lot of people that train and they say, oh, this should be happening, that should be happening. Meanwhile, something totally different's happening. You know, they're like, hey, if I do, you know, some kicks or whatever, then I should become more flexible. Meanwhile, something else totally different happens. And like, oh God, you know, I guess that didn't work out too well. Use your body as a sounding board. Watch what's happening with your body through visually. Oh, it's a great day for some squats. Great day for some squats. Oh, yeah. And also experientially, okay? When you experience certain things, that's also a language. And then through what you see and what you experience, you'll start to connect the two, and the language will start to make sense. That will become your Rosetta Stone of the body, and then you'll be able to make adjustments just from feeling, because your feeling now will start telling you the truth. Because at first, when you first start training, your feelings aren't necessarily telling you the truth. You know, there's all this kind of misunderstandings going on. You want to basically start to understand the language of the body, and therefore you can respond to it back and forth like a conversation, right? So really what I'm telling you is to expand your awareness, keep training, and err on the side of caution when it comes to range of motion and things like that, because at first your language might not be quite so clear. So I hope this helps you understand what I'm doing in my training right now. And remember to visit me at naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and take care for now.